everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Retro Complex. I'm Dave, and here I'll be talking about all the great games that I played growing up and still enjoy to this day. Being the first episode, I wanted to start out with another first, the very first game I bought for my Super Nintendo, Super R-Type. Super R-Type was released in 1991 and has remained one of my favorite Super Nintendo titles to this day. One of the first things you'll notice is the slow pace of the game. I'm pretty sure this was done intentionally due to the short level designs of the game stages. Some people might consider this a bad thing, but I think it helps ease into the gameplay. In later levels, things can get a little crazy and the slowdown really helps. One of the first things that I noticed about Super R-Type when I was playing this as a kid for the first time was the graphics. Now, the only other game I had to play before this was Super Mario World, and that was great, and I loved the graphics and the bright colors, but it was really appealing to have something in contrast to that. Super R-Type had a lot of darks, a lot of black, really good shading in the graphics. It was just great to play something severely different than Super Mario World, aside that Super R-Type's a shooter, but graphically it was completely different and I enjoyed that part thoroughly. So entering this next area is when I really started to notice the good sound effects in the game. Some of the enemies coming up when shot will make a very satisfying explosion sound, and that really added to the fun factor, because then I really felt like I was causing some real damage. Some of the weapons are really cool, but during gameplay it does take a while to fully power up your ship. But when you get fully locked out, you can be nearly unstoppable. That is, if you're playing on the easy or normal difficulty. But destroying enemies can be very satisfying, and a lot of the exploding sounds that they make makes their deaths that much more gratifying. One piece of advice is not to get 2 or more of the S speed icons, because if you do, your ship can move so fast that you might crash into stuff, causing your death. Not your actual death, but you know what I mean. of the cool things I found out about this boss is that if you shoot him in the face enough before defeating him, it will explode, exposing the first boss from the first R-Type game. That's a neat little touch and I like that. Even the instruction manual indicates that this is the first boss from the first R-Type game, wearing some kind of exosuit. So in this level was the first time I really started to notice the quality of the music. Even though it did sound a little synthesized, it really did give me the impression that not only did the Super Nintendo get a boost in graphics, but also the audio department as well. Super R-Type is actually a port of the vastly superior R-Type 2 arcade game. Without talking too much about R-Type 2, I'll mention a few of the differences, most notably the levels in the game. The first level and its boss are new, and were not part of the arcade game. In R-Type 2, the levels translate pretty straightforward as Super R-Type, starting on level 2 all the way towards the end of the game. With the exception of levels 4 and 6, which were redone to the point where they might as well be new, making levels 1, 4, and 6 exclusive to the Super Nintendo. This is definitely my least favorite boss of the game, just because it takes so long to defeat. You have to wait for that green thing to be exposed and then maneuver around the snakes or whatever they are. It just takes so long. It can be a little challenging, but manageable. But some of the other bosses, you just show up and shoot them for a little bit and then that's it, you move on. But this one is going to take a while. So this here is definitely my favorite level in the whole game. Actually, I wish more games had levels similar to this, where you're flying around a giant ship or whatever and just shooting it and pieces are falling off. So much destruction happening. Very satisfying. felt great, even on easy. Now before we continue, I just wanted to show you the box and mention that the artwork still kind of creeps me out. The artist did a great job of making a very menacing looking alien. Still bugs me even today. Now I want to tell you a little bit about how I came to first get Super R-Type. I used to frequent a KB toy store, and I would stand at the end of the video game counter looking at the games hanging on the wall behind the counter. Like most kids, I didn't have a whole lot of money to buy games, and they weren't cheap either. I remember that I noticed the price tag of $20 on this game, and I asked to see it. When the lady behind the counter handed it to me, I stared at it for a while and I thought, wow, this looks pretty cool. I didn't have the $30, $40, $50, or even $60 that most games were priced at, but I sure as hell had $20 to buy this game. I still remember the very spot where I stood while looking at this game. It's incredible how clearly you can remember some things from your childhood. Another weird thing is, towards the end of the instruction manual, is they actually had a typo in there where they misspelled Baido, B-A-I-D-O, which is weird because they spelled it right at the very beginning of the instruction manual, B-Y-D-O. Never really noticed it, even through all these years. So this is the last area of the game, and they're not messing around. No environmental hazards, no obstacles, it's just you and a bunch of enemies. If you're playing this on the higher difficulties, like hard or pro, you're asking for trouble. Level definitely feels like it's the longest, mostly because of that barrage of enemies. But here, the developers wanted to trick you or force you into getting another weapon, but if you destroy these enemies fast enough, you might be able to sneak by with your preferred weapon. The fight against the last boss is pretty memorable, to me at least. 4 ships have been captured and can be set free during battle. If you free them, they will start to move around randomly, shooting with the weak shot. But the problem is they can be destroyed. I'd rather just fight the boss and have them freed when the boss explodes, rather than cause their death. Like with other previous R-Type games, it's one-hit death. If you get shot, accidentally crash into the environment or an enemy, you lose a ship. And you start at the beginning of the level, even if you die at the boss. When you restart, all your weapons are gone. Good luck. Did I say good luck? I meant game genieing. This is going to help you get that special ending by beating the hard and the pro difficulty. Even if you decide not to cheat and you do lose, it's not so bad. Just take a listen to this sweet game over music. That was pretty awesome. I want to thank these fine people here for making such great music for the game. Thank God for the Japanese. Well, there you have it, everyone. That's Super R-Type for the Super Nintendo. It's a great game with great music. I always enjoy playing this game and I highly recommend it to other players. But unfortunately, as of now, it's no longer available on the Wii Virtual Console service, so if you want to play the game, you gotta get the cartridge. Well, that's going to conclude the first episode of Retro Complex. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I am Dave and I want to say have a great day and thank you for watching.